Man, ever since Harley did their press ride of this Lowrider ST, I have been excited to ride it, and today I'm getting to first ride the Lowrider ST. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Chaseontwowheels here at Mountain Motorsports in Roswell. Now in front of us we have a Harley Davidson Lowrider ST. This is their 2022 model. Harley let us loan this. It obviously did not come from Mountain Motorsports. We actually picked it up right down the road from Killer Creek Harley Davidson, which is probably my favorite Harley Davidson dealership. Actually, not probably, most definitely. But you guys that watch First Rides know we got to start at Mountain Motorsports because we got a route to go, guys. So this is going to be my first brand new, what I call old school Harley, that I'm going to do a first ride on. We'll talk about what that means during this video. But before we get into all that, we need to see what it looks like, and we need to see what it sounds like.
It's a good world. Good world going by.
Alright guys, that's what it looks like, that's what it sounds like. Now before I get on this beast, we need to talk about an ad real quick because I want to give you guys the highest quality video I possibly can. In order to do that, we got to talk about an ad real quick. Let's get to it so we can ride, baby. And that's the ad, fam. That's all it takes for us to make awesome content for y'all. Thank you so much for supporting the people that support us. You guys are the truth. Speaking of the people that support us, Quad Lock got the phone mounted. Look at that. We got quad locks on every bike we're doing a first ride on. Legit, though. Quad locks are life-changing. Honestly. I know we just signed them up as a sponsor on the channel, but my God, I love them. All right, dudes. 2022 Harley Davidson Lowrider ST. So let's talk about height real quick. I'm 5'10", I got a 32-inch inseam, and as you guys can see, I am low to the ground here. I got super bent knees, so I got no problems controlling. We are on the new Hero 10, so hopefully this is the first ride with a GoPro Hero 10. Shout out to 650 Ebe for telling me I need to get one. Alrighty, gloves on, safety, let's go. We don't got a lot of controls here. Boom. Do we need to pull clutch in? No, we do not. Goodness gracious. Woo! Let's get this first ride rolling. We are early here at Mountain Motorsports because ain't nobody here yet. Nobody's shopping for bikes at 10 o'clock in the morning, it seems. Why not? Oh, we get to go. Oh, by the way, go check out our Discord if you want to hang out with other motorcyclists on Discord. We have a Discord link in the description. Okay, goodbye. Let's go. Oh, this is super fun. All right, guys, so we are here on the 2022 Lowrider ST from Harley, a brand new model for 2022. And before we get too far in the video, I think I should probably give you guys a brief understanding of when I say new school and old school Harley, what I actually mean. I guess that means I should also, I should give you guys a little brief understanding of where I am as a rider so you can kind of know where I'm coming into this video at. So right now, I'm brand new to the cruiser segment. The guys in the shop have been getting me to ride more and more cruisers. I've ridden a couple Harleys before, most of them have been the new Harleys. I haven't ridden a lot of old Harleys, like old school Harleys, but we'll get into the differences real quick. What I mean by old school, this is a Milwaukee 8, Harley's more established line of engines. When I say old school, that's what I mean, the semi-air cooled Milwaukee 8. The new school, when I refer to that, is any of the motorcycles with their new Revolution Max engine. So that's what I mean, old school, new school. So now we know. It is a first ride. Let's talk about body position real quick, ladies and gentlemen. First off, seat-wise, super comfy seat. It's actually comfortable all the way up the back of my butt, which is pretty helpful because this thing feels super torquey. Now, as far as my other body position, I've got my arms are straight out, super comfortable seat, and then my legs kind of go up and then down. You guys can see that in the camera car footage. It's an okay, comfortable seating position. I don't love my legs where they are. Now, if you guys saw the Sportster S first ride, this might come as a shock, but with the Sportster S, oh wait, there's Killer Creek, by the way. Shout out to Killer Creek, we love him long time. So with this body position, I actually think I prefer, or would prefer, forward controls. And on the Sportster S, I was opposite. The Sportster S comes with forward controls, and on that bike I prefer mid controls. We have mid controls here. I think I would be more comfortable if my foot was like out here on this thing. It would feel more like the relaxed position that my body kind of wants to be in. So I feel my lower half is a little more aggressive, you know, bent up and stuff like that than I kind of want to be. But that being said, I'm brand new to this, guy, so I'm just telling you my preferences. Keep that in mind. I'm coming from a guy that's ridden super sports and nakeds for the majority of his riding career, and I'm new to cruisers, so that's just me. Overall though, body position is not bad. I'm not a huge fan of my arms being forward. I don't really like that. I like my arms being down a little bit. Again, that's personal preference. But yeah, that's body position. Feels pretty decent. Oh, we're already getting to go. We don't got to deal with traffic too much today. We love that. So guys, weight-wise, this guy is coming in and I think 721 pounds, which is nothing to scoff at. That's a lot of weight. But what I can tell you is, riding here on the street, I can already tell that like the second you get going, and even standing still, it's not bad dealing with that weight. Let's see if we can get around all this traffic. Yes, we can. Woohoo! Man, have I told you guys I like torque? Because I really like torque. So guys, we're in the city streets riding the Lowrider ST around. And for something that weighs 721 pounds, does it feel heavy? Yeah, a little bit. But you get this thing rolling, and just like ice cream on a hot day, that weight just melts away. You totally forget that you have that much weight underneath you. It does a great job. I mean, look at that. 721 pounds, and I can just like wiggle this thing around. I guess the weight is down low. Like, Harley did a phenomenal job of just like making this weight like a little chameleon and just hiding somewhere in the motorcycle, because, you know, typically slow speed situations like here in the city, riding around with traffic and all that kind of crap, that's where weight is a big deal. All right, we're stopped at a red light. Let's see how that weight feels leaning it over. I mean, like, yeah, is it heavy not moving? Absolutely, but it still doesn't feel like 721 pounds. I guess they got the weight low to the ground or something. The other thing that helps that weight is I'm so low to the ground, I got these bent legs, so I can stay in control even when the weight gets over, because my legs are in a good position. This body position also helps out a lot when I come to a stop. I can very easily get my leg down. So I don't love the mid controls, but they're working out pretty well. The bike's even easy to bounce. Are you seeing that? Did you guys watch how slow? I almost come to a complete stop on this bike. And this is my first day riding this. I have not been riding this motorcycle. Producer Trey's been riding it a lot more than I have. But that just goes to show that they've got the balance on this bike super well. When I can just barely move it and use like that clutch control to keep the bike just barely moving, Harley did a great job with the weight distribution on this thing. Super balanced. I appreciate that a lot. You know, one of the benefits of having a little bit heavier of a motorcycle is when you're kind of riding around the city, even taking turns like that, you feel planted. Like I feel like this thing is just glued to the ground and not going anywhere. I think it kind of adds to the vibe of this thing. But ooh, let's see if we can. Are you serious? I didn't expect to be able to do that. No feet down, baby. Oh, that was great. I physically would not be able to do that if this bike wasn't balanced, like doing that slow speed shit. So props. As far as composure, here going up a little bit faster, dealing with traffic, this thing's performing great. I love the throttle response that I'm getting with just like these small little minute like adjustments to keep up with traffic or slow down and speed up. And the cool thing about this Milwaukee 8, I think it's 1700 cubic inch, which means I've got 95 horsepower and 125 foot-pounds of torque. Definitely a more torque-focused engine, but it is performing great right now. I am a little surprised how well it's handling city stuff. You know, I don't ride a lot of these really heavy cruisers like this, and I would assume, you know, on paper that the city riding would be the least fun. It's got a lot of weight, it's got a lot of power to handle, but right now I've got no issues, and this is actually like really enjoyable, honestly. We are coming up to the highway soon, guys, so let's talk about modes. There are none. You have your throttle hand, and that is all. All right, guys, getting onto the highway, 2022 Harley Davidson Lowrider ST. Let's frickin' go. We got a 40 to 80 pull to do, and I want to be thrown back in the seat right now. Or at least I want the seat to be decompressed or pressed backwards. We will find out if we get that today. We are on a liquid-cooled V-twin, so our torque is down low. We need to make sure we keep it down low to get this 40 to 80 pull the best it can possibly be. I'm going to piss some cars off real quick, and then we'll get this going. You guys ready for it? I'm ready for it. And that's 80, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how fast that was, but it was that fast. That felt cool, and it sounded cool, which is really all you can want in a 40 to 80 pull. You want to sound cool, and you want the thing to vibrate underneath you, and that's what we got. All right, guys, so we're here on the highway for the Lowrider ST. We got this giant shield in front of us, so wind should be no freaking problem. Feeling around it, I can confirm I don't feel literally any wind. This is a no wind zone until I get about right here, which puts it right at my windshield. I've only got the slightest head bobbling, so that's totally good with me. As far as vibration here on the highway, I'm only getting slight vibration in the foot pegs and the slightest vibration, oddly, on my throttle hand. I'm not getting it on the left hand. I'm only getting it on throttle hand, which is very strange. Power-wise, 6th gear going, what, 75? Bro, we're chill. Bike's not overly... The wind is louder than the motorcycle is right now, which, as somebody that just got back from a 500-mile round-trip ride, I can appreciate. I got this really cool position right here. Oh, yeah, let's do cruise control. Cruise control is press that in, press it down. Look at that. We're going. Sitting here cruising on the highway, I got my hand just kind of resting here on the side, and I could ride like this for a long time. Oddly, the seating position makes me want to bow my legs outwards. I don't know why. My wind protection gets taken away out here, but I don't know. I naturally just kind of sit like this, and I'm pretty sure I could ride straight across country on this thing right now. Yeah, I love this a lot. This seat's really doing a good job of keeping me. I feel like I'm being held by the seat really nicely. We'll disengage cruise control. Yeah, this is awesome. I could totally see cruising down the highway on this thing. Let's go ahead and get in that right lane and use my blinker that I can't stand. So guys, as far as the highway goes, Lowrider ST, mucho good. We are totally here for that. Wind resistance is great, power is always there, and I've got a high enough gear to just kind of chill. So we love the highway for sure. Let's shift down and let's lean this thing over and see what she feels like leaned over. It's a Harley. It shouldn't be that great, right? We don't buy these or people don't buy these to go ride hard. I mean, I'm not leaned way over, but bro, I could go way faster than this and I feel great. Suspension doing a good job of making me feel planted in a turn. That's kind of what I'm looking for in a Harley. Like, I don't want the most aggressive sports bike thing. There's sports bikes for that. But I want to lean over and feel confident, and I definitely feel that on this bike. Harley Davidson, good job with your old school Milwaukee 8. I'm here for this. All right, guys, before we get going any farther, let's jump over to the camera car and see what the guys in the camera car think of the Lowrider ST, thanks to our buddies over at Cardo.
2022 Harley Davidson Lowrider ST, the FXLR ST. I love the gunship gray. You just feel like the bad angel or the bad devil on your shoulder while you're riding this. Love it.
I think this is one of the sexiest softails that they've made in quite some time. I loved the Sport Glide. I hit the Sport Glide fairing, so they fixed that. This is awesome. Love this bike.
Alrighty, dudes, thank you in the camera car for your opinions, and even more so, thank you, Cardo. If you guys are looking for a Bluetooth, Cardo is a sponsor on the channel, and we absolutely love them. That's actually why they're a sponsor on the channel, because we asked them to be, because we love their product. You guys get a discount on a Cardo in the link in the description if you wanna. Alright, guys, so let's talk about power on the Lowrider ST. Like I said, you're in a V-twin, your power is grunty and down low. You get that good noise, you get the torque just pulling you forward. It's a very good feeling. I think it matches the body position and the bike very well. How are the brakes? Wow! I actually don't hate the brakes on a cruiser. Yay! Oh, I've been waiting a while to say that. So here's my problem, guys. I come from a more sporty side of riding. So when I end up riding cruisers, I typically don't like the brakes because I just don't feel like they're strong enough. But whatever brakes Harley's got on the front of this thing, I'm here for. Yes, that's what you buy a Harley for, to get pulled out on. And to get that just grunt as you're accelerating. I think absolutely stock. This bike sounds great. It pulls great. I love that. Suspension wise has been totally good too. I feel planted on the ground. I've never felt kind of the bobbling that I've felt on a lot of cruisers, especially these heavy things, man. The suspension has a lot of work to do. I will note with the suspension, I do notice a little bit of suspension dive when I come into a full stop. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I mean, honestly, that's the only thing of the suspension that I really am not a fan of. As far as the gears being laid out, I think the gears are laid out really well. I shift when I feel like I want to shift. I don't feel like any of the gears are really too short or too tall. They've got the gearing really nailed on this thing. And I also love that 6th gear I can put in it just be like my overdrive gear. I can put it in it and just kind of chill. As far as the shifting and all goes, I get a really good satisfactory feel when I'm shifting this bike into different gears, both up and down. I get a good click that reverberates through my leg. I know I've shifted. The one thing I'm not a huge fan of is the shift lever, and we'll talk about that here in a second. But overall, performance-wise, this thing is far exceeding the expectations that I had for it, and making me realize that last Lowrider that I rode, I know it was modified a lot, and I think the guy might have customized it to him so much that he ruined it for the normal rider, because I did not enjoy riding that bike as much as I'm enjoying riding this. Alright guys, as I alluded to a second ago, let's talk about the instrument panel up here. We'll start out with the lever since I was just talking about them a second ago. Now, feel wise, I've got no problem with either of the levers. The brake feel on the brake lever feels great. The clutch pull on this lever feels great. It is a little bit heavier, and my issue that I was talking about is, personally as a rider, I like using a 2-finger clutch, and I like my clutch to be engaged very quickly. I like doing nothing more than like that typically. With this clutch, I've got to use all my fingers, and I've got to pull it all the way in for it to fully engage, or disengage, I guess. I'm not a big fan of that. I just like, you know, just barely pulling it. But I had a time where I almost stalled the bike because I tried to 2-finger clutch it, and the clutch didn't get disengaged fully. So that's more of a personal preference. I talked to the guys in the shop, and they said that's very normal. So if you come from a Harley background, that's probably not going to be a problem for you. But if you came from a more sport-oriented background, you're not really going to get that slight clutch feel. But I'm sure you can always modify that as per necessary. As far as the buttons go on the Harley, they feel super premium. They are very big, and we don't have a ton of buttons. We've got this tiny little dash here, which if you like that minimal setup, this is going to be great. As you guys can see, there's not a lot of stuff to distract you up here, but for such a tiny screen, I think Harley did a phenomenal job of putting in there everything you need. This little bar here, I've got the range up. You guys can see I need to get some gas soon. We got our gear position up here. We got our speed here. And then we have our gas gauge here. And honestly, what else do you need? You can use this button here to cycle through the information if you want to. I just like having the gas gauge up, like the range, so I know right before I'm about to run out of gas. But I think Harley did a great job there. You got all your warning things here. I think the buttons are huge, but overall I think they're laid out pretty well. My only big critique here is that the blinker is on the right. I know that's the old school way, that's the way they do it, but not a fan of it. I wish it was over here. That's where I like all my controls. And yeah, pretty minimal setup. I think it looks great. I think they have a very blacked out minimal setup here that it really does a phenomenal job, honestly. The last kind of thing I'll touch on as far as the cluster and stuff up here, I love the fact that this piece, this big shield up front, I love that it's not connected to the actual forks. As you can see, it's connected at the front triple, and the forks are the triple tree is on the outside, and they pivot around it, so this piece does not move. I love that. I don't like the big shields that kind of move with your handlebars. I just don't know. I don't like my handlebars being attached to such a big item, so I'm really glad that Harley don't have those attached to each other. And with that, guys, I think we can pull off up here, and I'm going to do a little walk around the bike. Thanks to our camera car footage, I know you guys have been looking at the bike this whole time, but I haven't. So I'm going to walk around the bike, talk about a few of the things that I think of visually on the motorcycle, because I do feel like this is a great looking motorcycle. And I'm not really an old school Harley guy. I'm not a big fan of some of the old stuff they've done, but I think they killed this one in a good, like, zombies are dead but they're killed vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm glad it's here. I don't mean killed in a negative way. I hit that and the bike's off. Awesome. That's what I meant to do. Totally meant to do all that. Old spot 144. Hell yeah, baby. Man, this thing's not, even rolling this thing around isn't that bad with such a heavy weight too. I still hate the kickstand. I you know, it is a thing. Harley, if you work on anything in the future, please work on your kickstands. I'm sketched out by every single one of them. All right. So, kickstand's down. To get it down, I have to lean the bike to the side, which I don't like doing. And now when I lean it over, kickstand's still going, kickstand's still going. And here I'm like, bro, that's a lot of weight over there. Do I have it right? Okay, I do. Now I feel safe. I just want to be able to lean my Harley over and feel safe instantly. I don't want it to keep going, keep going, keep going. It sketches me out. All right, dudes, Lowrider ST. Check it out. This is a perfect example, actually, of a motorcycle that you buy this, I don't know if you need to do anything to it. I think the dark bronze wheels look great. It's already got a blackout exhaust. It's got these side bags, which are really easy to use. Check this out. You just pull that up, and they open up. You can disattach them from there. Honestly, though, I think the side bags look great. I don't think the bike would look as cool if it didn't have the side bags. I don't know if this is good or bad for performance, but I love the way this looks. This air intake kind of being out the side. Absolutely love the look of that. I just think it's a cool looking bike, man. And I gotta tell you, after riding around on it for a little while, you feel cool. You feel like you got this cool vibe going on. And that's from a guy that's not really a cruiser guy. So for me to enjoy riding this thing, it's kind of a big deal, man. So that's that side of it. We love that. That's that front. Super great shape here. Love that. These things need to go. That's what needs to go on this motorcycle. That's the other side. A lot of blacked out stuff. I love this material too, by the way. So with this bike in general, you got three main color, or I guess four main colors if you consider the wheels. You got this beautiful like night gray. You've got this kind of industrially black, and then you have this shiny black. Then the final little color pop, you get the bronze on the wheels. I love that kind of color combo that they have going on. And then you have the bar and shield logo that matches the color on the wheels. As far as cruisers go, man, they don't get much cooler looking than this. Only thing I would change if I was to own something like that, I would change the front blinkers. I would change the rear blinkers. I'd probably change this whole tail section. And I would rip these guys off. Obviously, they're probably required to have those, but it is what it is. Overall, though, phenomenal looking bike. So guys, I'm going to grab my phone off the quad lock real quick, take some photos for Instagram. If you're not following us on Instagram, we're at C2Pics. And if you want a discount on quad locks, we got a link in the description for you. You got Cardo and quad lock discounts, boys. You're welcome. If you're not following us on Instagram, we are at C2Pics. We're posting photos and videos all over there. So if you guys aren't following us on Instagram, you're missing out. All right, dudes, that's it for the Harley Lowrider ST walk around. Let's get this thing back on the road where it belongs. And we have our turnaround test. You know, something I didn't touch on yet, but that I meant to, with the controls, the grips are the more thick grips. I don't love the thick grips. I like thinner grips. That is one complaint I have. I know a lot of the Harleys have those thicker grips. I'm just not a fan. I feel like I can't get a great grip when my hand's over such a big thing. Anyways, guys, let's get her in first. Let's lock the handlebars, which, by the way, look at the stops. That's a lot of rotation. All right, let's see how far we can get over. About middle of the pack for a 700-something pound bike. That ain't bad, fam. All right, let's get this thing going and finish this video up. All right, guys, so to finish up this video, I would like to discuss who I think the ideal rider for this bike is. And now I do gotta say, I don't think that this bike is for me as a rider right now. I think this is a phenomenal cruiser, and I've really loved everything about it for this motorcycle. I feel like it fits itself really well. The person that needs to be looking into this is somebody that's very cruiser minded, that's not super interested in a lot of like really sporty riding. Now, that's not to say when I've leaned this thing over, the thing leans over like decently, but I don't think if you're interested in sport riding, I don't think you need to be looking into this. I think if you need to be like in a cruiser mindset, you want to have that really cool vibe where you can just cruise around and you don't have to be going fast to feel cool as hell. I love the way it looks. Obviously that's subjective, but I mean, I think the colors, at least in this model, look absolutely amazing. And this is kind of a weird first ride, because like I think this bike is perfect just the way it is. I just don't think it's the right bike for me, but that's because I'm not in that super cruisy mindset. I also have a Sportster S at home, which is my like cruiser that I can ride hard. You know what I mean? So like I've already got a cruiser that's more sporty for me. I would say this is like a mildly sporty cruiser, and I'm just too much into the sport right now in my life. But that being said, I honestly, like I told you guys, I don't know what I would change about this. I would probably change the clutch lever for me, and then I would change the blinkers That's literally it. I love the power delivery. I love the transmission and how that feels and all the gearing. I'm in a weird spot. I don't want it, but I really think it's a great motorcycle. So take that for what you will. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you guys got some information from this video that can help you guys out, hopefully in a purchasing decision. I think what you need to do is do the best you can to go ride this thing, because if you're looking for a cruiser, this is probably one of the better ones I've ridden. And the price isn't crazy. I know 21K is a lot, but I don't think that's as much as some of the cruisers out there. So it's not a cheap bike, but you don't get a cheap bike, if that makes sense. The bike feels are super well put together, and if I was in a different stage of life, this might be the right bike for me. So guys, that's about all of the info I've got on the Lowrider ST. If you guys are interested in a more old school versus new school Harley video, we are planning on making a Lowrider ST versus a Harley Davidson Sportster S. Just make sure to subscribe for that video coming in the future. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. And like I said, subscribe to the channel. We make a ton of motorcycle content every single week, so we got a little something for everybody. And guys, I'm Chaseontwowheels. I appreciate you riding around with me, and I'll see you on the next one. You guys ride safe. Later. Before we get to the outro crew, my boys at Harley Davidson, thank you so much for the loaner of the Lowrider ST. Very much appreciate that, and I look forward to making a ton more content on it. You guys, if you want to see a specific style video about this thing, let us know. And while we have the bike, we will do our best to include that in a video or make a video about whatever you ask. Outro crew, if you made it to the end of the video, make sure to put OC in your comments so we know you guys made it to the end, because, you know, we love you longer. And guys, let me know, do you prefer the old school Milwaukee 8 style Harleys, or are you more intrigued, or do you own one of the new Rev Max Harleys? Obviously, you guys know I've got that Rev Max Sportster S, but I'm interested to hear y'all's opinions in the comments down below. We love you guys a little bit longer, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.